Hey y'all, how you doing today? Welcome. I am loving life freely here on YouTube. I'm so glad you're joining us today, guys. We have this is a weekly reseller chat, y'all. And I have some topics I want to talk about. I want to just kind of be brutally honest about some things this week, not just for you guys, but for me too. And I would love to say welcome to you if you are just dropping in on my channel. If you've been watching my videos for a while, welcome back. If you're brand new to reselling, period, if you are literally just starting your journey in reselling, welcome to the community. I am so excited for you. I'm thrilled for this journey that you're on and you're beginning. And this is one of those videos that could be really good for seasoned sellers, those of us who've been working for a while. Now, obviously, a lot of you are more seasoned than I am. So when I say seasoned, I think honestly seasoned and more seasoned, obviously, you've been at it for 5-10 years. But those of us who've been at it long enough to know some of the mistakes that we've made, right? That's what I kind of mean by seasoned. And then there are people literally just starting out or been at it for maybe 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year, and you're just kind of starting to get things figured out. Anyway, welcome to everybody, you guys. I'm so glad you're here today. Like I was just saying, today is one of those videos where the information we're talking about is beneficial to whether or not you're brand new to reselling and trying to figure out your base of where you're going with things, or you've been at this for a while, because like we've said before, reselling changes on a regular basis, so it doesn't matter where you're at in your reselling business. What we're going to be talking about today really involves everybody in the reselling community, no matter what stage you're at in it. So stay tuned, you guys, for what we're going to discuss today. Okay, guys, before I dive into that, I'm going to share with you just how we're doing here. And then I have a question for y'all. But before I do that, let's talk about how we're doing here. Things have been good here. I kind of feel like I'm still just as busy, even though I kind of cut back on not like pushing myself so hard. But because I've tweaked how I'm doing things on my whatnot auctions, that has made a difference for me a little bit in my daily routine. Because instead of just pulling from bins and showing things, I'm doing it different now on my whatnot auctions, and I haven't been doing Poshmark lately. I know things are changing, and I was doing good with Poshmark on my kids' lives. The problem that I was running into is obviously summer slowdown. We've talked about that, but the other thing that I'm running into is when I'm doing my kids' lives, there's only so many pieces in a certain amount of time that I can show. And if I'm showing a certain size and going through so many pieces in that size and saying, hey, do you want this or no? There's only so many people I can critique for at one time. You know, if I'm showing sizes that are small mediums for somebody, and there are other people on there waiting for me to show maybe mediums or larges or kids pieces, toddler pieces, and they're waiting in the show for me to show those other items, I was finding that some people were having to leave the show because I was taking a while to show the items for this particular size to one person or two people, while other people were waiting to see a different size. And so I couldn't really, you could only sell so much in one show when you're doing that. And I found that my max amount that I could sell typically was maybe 20-25 pieces max for like a 2.5 hour show. But I really wanted to be able to not only meet people's needs at one time, but be able to sell more in one show than 20 or 25 pieces and not have to go for 2.5 hours. So on Poshmark, I can't do what I'm going to let you know that I'm doing. But I've made some tweaks and changes to how I'm doing whatnot. I really, really like it. I'm going to keep going with it for a while to see how well it makes a difference. I just started doing this last week, but there was a few shows last week I didn't get done. This week I'm doing 4 shows, next week and so on and so forth. Now I'll share with you what I've done to make a change. In Whatnot, you are actually able to upload pictures, your description, all that in a show. And if things don't sell in one show, Whatnot gives you the ability to actually move every item that was in that show, whether it was a buy it now or auction site area, you can move it to another show. You can't do that on Poshmark. Once you've done a show on Poshmark, if you load a bunch of stuff and you do your show, whatever doesn't sell in that show, that's done for that show. You can't move it and transfer it to another show, which is frustrating for me. you would have to do that work all over again for that show. So if you load 50 items for a show on Poshmark and you want to sell those same items on another show and they're not listed on Poshmark, you have to relist those items all over again for that show. Or, and if you don't want those items to be listed in your Poshmark because you just want to do lives with those pieces, you have to add everything all over again. Now, I know most people have their items listed in Poshmark. They bring it over from their Poshmark closet into their show, and you can do that again in the next show, bring that piece over again. But if you have items that you're not wanting to actually list, you're just wanting to auction, you can't do that. On Whatnot, I can. And I came up with an idea of, instead of having people come in and put their size request down in the chat, me going to that size, showing all those pieces for that size, do a runner pass, load them up in my thing. Instead of going through all of that process, I came up with the idea, and I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I really don't, but I'm really glad I thought about it. I was late at night, 10:30, 11 o'clock, midnight one night, trying to think about Whatnot, how I can make it better. And I came up with the idea of just literally doing a buy it now show. So I can load up pictures for each item, put it through Photo Room, make it nice and crisp for everybody, load up the item number, load up the information, the size, and all that. So all people have to do is literally come into my Whatnot show, go over to Buy It Now, and I can literally have hundreds of pieces listed in Buy It Now. You literally come in, figure out what you're looking for in the Buy It Now. If you have questions, you just drop the item number in the chat for me so I can pull it out of my inventory, because I do have everything in little poly bags, in boxes, ready to show if I need to, and pull for inventory if it ships, to ship it. Other than that, you just go into that item. If you like it, you just purchase it right then and there, and go on to the next item, purchase it right then and there, go on to the next item. And I can have multiple people in my shows just going to Buy It Now, looking for what they want to buy, and just purchasing right then and there. And the majority of my items, unless I do a clearance show, the majority of my items are somewhere between $2 to $5 a piece. I'm not going to go into what the breakdown is for those items, what determines what the price is, but it's between $2 to $5 regular pricing in my show. So because Whatnot, their fees are so low, I'm able to do that versus Poshmark, automatically $3 off the top. On Whatnot, I could bring my price down even lower, offer you guys an even better deal on Whatnot. You come to the show, you don't have to wait for me to show sizing to one person, wait for the sizing request, wait for me to get to that size, then go through and spend 20 minutes showing you, okay, do you like this, do you like this, do you like this? It's all listed in my Buy It Now, with pictures, descriptions, and everything. You literally just go over to Buy It Now, figure out what works for you, and purchase it. Unless you have a question, then purchase it. And I've been doing this for a week now. It's been working out great, and I am building up more community over there. I don't know why I didn't do this to start with. It's just so much easier. Literally, people can just come in and buy stuff, go out. Some people do stay in chat, which is amazing and wonderful. I love that. And the nice thing is what doesn't sell in one show, I literally move over to the next show, and each day I'm adding about 20 new pieces to the Buy It Now on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. So it gets to the point where there's literally hundreds of pieces of kids' clothes in Buy It Now, so people can just keep coming in. There's going to be fresh new stuff every show, fresh new pieces coming in all the time, and even as I sell, and I get more and more people coming in as I sell more, I will just continue to buy kids' boxes and just continue to add more pieces. I'm really hoping that this works better, because this way I can sell more in one show and not have to be on for 2.5 hours working really hard to maybe sell 20 pieces. I can actually sell more because people literally can just come in and buy it and not have to worry about waiting in line to see things or wait to see if they like something, and I'm going through 20 pieces to maybe sell one. It's just literally all right there for everybody, and they don't have to wait in line. So if you are interested and you want to come check out my Whatnot shows, the link is always down below. Whatnot link is down below in my videos. I am going to be doing a plug for this, guys, because this could be huge for all of you. Because one of the reasons, you all know I've mentioned this in my lives. I don't know if I've mentioned it here. One of the reasons why I love doing kids shows, so many moms are looking for a good deal on kids clothes. And especially on Whatnot, I can provide that low cost for them. I have a low cost of goods and I'm able to share the low cost to you guys to buy it, and it comes right to your door. So again, if you're interested in checking out my kids' clothes, on Whatnot, I am at Loving Life Freely, just like on here. Again, the link is down below. I think you get a $15 coupon, so if you want to check that out. So that is something new lately, you guys, that I've changed. It makes a big difference. So like I was talking about in my daily routine and my schedule, the reason why I kind of went into all that is now I'm doing my 10 listings a day for my regular platforms. Plus, in the early afternoon, I spend time doing 20 new listings on Whatnot for my Whatnot auctions for kids' clothes. Do my photos. I do my my breakdown of the title, the item, a little bit of a description, the size, and I upload all that into Whatnot. So there's 20 new listings every day going into my Whatnot for my Whatnot auction. So that's added to my schedule now. Plus doing my YouTube videos. I'm in the process of going through my inventory and making sure it is actually on eBay. I started that this week, which is going well. Flushing out old inventory that I don't want to keep, taking some things to buy, sell, trade. So this week has been very, very busy for me. But I'm excited about where things are going, as well as buying inventory that I can sell for around $35 or more. I've already been selling my Aritzia pieces, guys. I'm so excited. If you have not yet watched my Aritzia video, it is up. Take time to go watch that video to see what came in my Aritzia box. I have another box coming down the pike that is coming up. Men's Madewell, all new with tags or new without tags. Super excited about that, and I'm in the process of figuring out what box I'm going to buy next. All those men's pieces, most of them should sell for at least $30 a piece, if not more, and my COG was really low on those. So, yeah, it's been really good and really busy. So that's kind of a combined life and business update. I will be doing my What Sold video this week, but let me take that to transition into my question for y'all. Sorry, I know it usually takes me about 10 or 15 minutes just to talk about life and business and all that. You all know I've been doing these weekly reseller chats. We've been doing them for a while now. I told you guys a couple months ago that I've been brainstorming another idea for my YouTube channel. And I haven't had a chance to fully research it before I decided today, before I take the time to do all that full research, I really, really want to do this. There are a lot of resellers in the reseller community who run YouTube channels. Or are just resellers. They don't even necessarily run YouTube channels. What I'd really like to do is at least once a month bring to you guys an interview with a reseller. Whether they're really popular or they have like maybe 5,000 followers on YouTube, or they've been at it for 2 or 3 years. There are so many resellers out there doing really good things with reselling. And one of the reasons why I want to do this is I want to ask them some questions, basic questions about how they got started and all those great things. But so many of them have such a variety, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about today on our weekly reseller chat, is variety and reselling. I would love to do some interviews with resellers and share those interviews with you on my YouTube channel here. I would love for you guys to comment down below. Please, please comment. Do you want me to continue to do the weekly reseller chats, but instead of doing them once a week, maybe do them once a month? Or maybe every other week? And then do these interviews with the resellers? I've already got quite a list of resellers that I want to interview. What I'll do is probably like a Zoom chat, have them pulled up next to me and ask them questions and do an interview. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour interview, just talking to other resellers. Having great questions. If you guys have questions, you can drop those down in the chat too. Let me know what kind of questions you'd like me to ask. But there's a lot of resellers out there, guys, that have great tips, great thoughts, great connections, great communications. And I would love to share them with you guys, and I would love to learn from them and share that education with you guys too. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I reached out to Zoom to find out what's involved in getting a Zoom thing going. They sent me some information to fill out. I haven't done it yet, but I need to do that. I'm going to be doing that here very soon. I'd like to start doing this soon, but I'd like to know, would you guys like me to continue to do the weekly reseller chats, but instead of doing them like once a week, maybe every other week. And then doing these interviews once a month. We're still going to have the unboxings. We're still going to do the what sold. We're going to still do my tips and tips and tricks. Maybe even like platform content, class listing content. All those different things are still going to be part of what we're going to be doing here on YouTube. But I would really love to do these interviews because there's so much great information. Learning from these people. Some of these people have been reselling for 10, 15, 20 years. Others have been reselling for 3 or 5 years. They've been around the block a little bit, and I would love to just interview them and see their thoughts on things, you guys. I would just love to do that. So tell me in the comments below if you guys would like that. If you would like me to do that and the weekly reseller chats, like maybe every other week or once a month. Tell me what you guys would like to do. My YouTube channel, you guys, is for you guys. Granted, I love sharing with you, but this channel is for you guys. This channel is for you guys to be able to be educated, to be able to know what comes in boxes. That's why we do unboxings, for what sells, to know what sells for you guys. Different things in platforms in the community, different things about garage sales, different stores and what's going on with those, different companies, bankruptcies, all different kinds of topics. It's all for you guys. Yes, I learned from doing it, but I'm doing it to share with you guys about the reselling community. So I want to make sure that the videos that I'm doing for you guys, that they're a benefit to you, and also to grow this YouTube channel so it reaches out to more people. So I'm really working on better content, making better videos, better types of videos. I'm working on more research on how to do better videos for y'all. So not just like cut and paste. I want it to be enjoyable for you guys to watch. I want it to be something where you guys are involved in the video and you want to keep watching the video. So I'm really working on being a better YouTuber for y'all too, because I want to be around for a while with you guys, learning and growing with you guys in this reselling community. So let me know again in the chat below how often you would like me to do the weekly reseller chats, and if you're intrigued with the idea of these interviews. And if I were to share some of the people that I want to interview with you, I bet some of you guys would be like, oh my gosh. Some of these people are doing really, really good. And other people, some of them have really big YouTube channels. And some of them have smaller YouTube channels, but they're all making a good living doing what they're doing. So I would really love to interview these people. I want to learn from them. I want to connect with them. So anyway, not to beat a horse, just tell me in the comments below what you guys think. That's a big thing, guys. I'm really excited to get started on those. Like I said, I already have in my mind a bunch of people. I've got quite a list going in my mind already. We could easily be doing this for like a year, the number of people I want to interview, because there's a lot of really, really good resellers out there. And the one thing that I love about this is not everybody sells the same thing. Not everybody has the same business model. Not everybody sources to the same places. So to be able to learn from all these different sources of types of business people, I think would just be amazing. Okay. Now let's talk about this. The different ways that we run our reselling businesses is quite vast, right, you guys? I kind of wanted to cover this because not only are we approaching the busy time of the year, but I've been watching quite a few videos lately where people are talking still a lot about slow sales. People will put out videos about why they think we're still having slow sales. And yeah, we've had definitely a slower summer than even last summer. That is without a doubt a big factor of it. Without a doubt, another big factor obviously has been the economy. The changing in how we've had to source and resell since all the shutdowns and changes in pricing in stores and locations of stores and all that goes on. The fact that a lot of online sourcing, some of the COGS are high. We all know all about that, okay? So a lot of changes have happened in the last even year. So let's kind of break this down a little bit. I'm going to share with you some things that I want to talk about, and then I want to share with you some things that I think are really vital. Some of these we've kind of talked about already. Not to beat a dead horse, but they're things that are kind of important in reselling. And it's easy to get lazy and stagnant in reselling, especially when it's just day in and day out, the same thing all the time. I don't know about you guys, but I like what I do. I really do. I love working from home. I love being my own boss. But every single day, taking those photographs, sitting down, okay, I gotta get my 10 listings up. Sometimes the listings are enjoyable to do and sometimes they aren't. Sometimes it's the same thing over and over and over again. And you like what you do, you like getting, you like listing the items you're listing. You like doing lives because you love offering people a great deal on kids' clothes or whatever you do in your lives. You love the connection with the people on your lives. One of the reasons why I really enjoy lives is connecting with other amazing resellers and buyers. But sometimes it's stale. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, okay, 10 listings again today. And you're just sitting there going through the motions, getting your listings up. I mean, seriously, we all been there. So some of the videos I've been watching lately are people talking about, yeah, we've had slow sales due to economy and slow summer, but sometimes our slow sales are not just because of that. Okay, so before I get into that though, let's talk about different types of business models that people have. And one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this is, like I said, guys, I have been running into quite a few people who are literally brand new to the reselling community. Whether it's on YouTube videos and people commenting in my YouTube comments about how they're literally just jumped on board as a reseller. Thank you so much for your video. Or I'm on lives and people are saying, yeah, I just joined Whatnot. Yeah, I just joined Poshmark. I just joined reselling. I'm brand new to Poshmark. I'm trying to figure all this out. There are a lot of people just joining into the reselling community and trying to figure things out. So I thought we would kind of talk about some of the basics. Business models. There are so many different business models out there, guys. There are people who buy anything to flip for a profit. Literally. There are people who go into a store or go to a swap meet or go to the bins and they literally buy even something that costs like 50 cents or a buck and they turn around and flip it for $5 or $10. Whether it's an auction on Whatnot, you can't really do that on Poshmark. Whatnot you can. You can literally sell anything on Whatnot. You can go to the bins. I've seen people do it. There's one particular couple that I follow. They do a lot of Whatnot auctions. They have a huge following. When they go live, they usually have an average of 150 to 200 people instantly on their lives. And they turn around and flip a lot of different things from the bins. And they just sell it. They get something for like 50 cents at the bins or $1. And they turn around and sell it for $8 or $9. But they do 50 or 60 pieces of that and try to make a great profit on things. And then they have other pieces that they actually list on their eBay. So some people just list literally just the littlest things. And then some people have just an eBay store and they go sourcing at different stores, pick up things that they know will sell well, but they literally sell anywhere from clothes to pictures to little doodads, to clothing to like picture frames, candles. I mean, you name it, they sell literally anything. And some people are long-term sellers where they wait until it sells and they hold on to something for maybe about a year and a half until it sells. And there's other people who want to try and flip it within 30 or 40 or 30, 60 or 90 days and then they want to be moving on to the next thing. And then you have people who do lives who literally bring something in, try and turn that and flip that like if it's a pallet, have that pallet sold within a month or two with a pallet and have it gone in a month or two. So there's many different various ways that people resell. And reselling has really changed a lot because before lives came about, you didn't really see people doing a lot of those quick flips with pallets until the auctions came about. Because people could literally buy pallets, flip things really quick on auctions, and make a lot of money doing that. And people are doing that. So reselling has changed a lot in the last year or so, especially since Poshmark and Whatnot lives came about. And a lot of resellers did revert to that because it just really works for their business model and they enjoy it. And they do that with the lives, but then they also take some of the nicer items that they get in those pallets, they list it on their platforms. If they can list something for $50 to $100 or something like that on their platforms, instead of doing it through a live and just making 5 or 10 bucks on it, they do the lives with the small things, and then they list their other items on Poshmark or eBay, make really good money with their nicer things on their platforms. So there's a lot of variety in how people do their reselling, guys. And then let's talk about being part-time or full-time. We have talked about this. Some people can't do full-time because they have families and other full-time jobs. Some moms are stay-at-home moms and they do this just to make some extra money, or to resell their kids' clothes just so they have a little bit of extra money from the previous clothes to buy the new clothes, right? Right? And then other moms are actually working full-time jobs and they do this on the side to make a little bit of extra money while their husbands are working too. And then some husbands are actually doing this while they work a full-time job and do this on the side to make extra money. So many different variables in reselling, guys. And again, it's changed a lot in the last year, especially since lives have happened. And people have been changing how they source because of the fact that cost in thrift stores, especially Goodwill, has gone up so high. People are finding different ways to source. And a lot more people are even doing garage sales year round. Like if you live in Florida, there's a couple that I follow on YouTube. They live in Florida and they're able to go to garage sales all year round because they don't have cold temps during the winter season. So I already watch a lot of their videos and they can go to garage sales whenever and pick stuff up all year round on top of going to the bins or thrift stores or whatever. So there's so many different types of business models. My point to bringing this up is if you're just starting out or you've been selling for a while and you're like me, you're trying to figure out a better business model that works for you instead of working hard, you're working smarter. You need to figure out which way one of those business models works best for you. And you may start out with one and change like what I'm doing. You may start out selling a little bit of everything just to kind of get yourself going. And you realize that you found a little bit of a tighter niche for yourself. Well, again, some people sell everything and anything, and other people have literally a very specific niche. Some people sell just clothes, and some people sell just plus-size clothes. Some people sell clothes, but they sell just kids' clothes. Some people sell clothes, they sell just men's clothes, or just women's clothes. There's so many different variables. So if you are new to reselling or you've been in it for a while and you're trying to figure out a better way that it works for you, maybe you have a smaller house and you want to keep everything, all your inventory in your house, and you have figured out kind of what sells for you now, but you don't have a room for a lot of inventory, you're trying to niche down. So you're trying to figure out which one of these models works best for you. Or if you're new and you've been watching some videos and you've been listening to our weekly reseller chats and you're trying to figure out what niche works best for you, this may be a way for you to kind of figure out how you want to go about that. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. It's already been 27 minutes. This is going to be a longer video. Not too long though. Buying small things for $25 and selling a lot of items, which we've talked about, or buying things for $35, $50 or more and selling less items. We don't need to go much further into that. And then again, being mindful of your COG, especially on your $25 items. If you're going to be mainly focused on selling a lot of like $25 items, you really don't want your COG higher, I'm going to say, than $5 or $10, depending on what your business model is. If you're wanting to double or triple your money, you really definitely want to keep it probably around $5, $6, $7. If you want to just take like maybe half of your COG and you're okay with that for $25, then yeah, you might be able to do $7 or $10 and then maybe make like $15 on an item, including your COG price. Okay. Or a mix of both, which is what some people do. Okay, so let's move on. I have 5 or 6 things I want to talk about why I think some people are having a hard time making sales. This is just my thoughts. And I'd love to know in the comments below if you agree with these thoughts, and if you don't, or if you do, tell me thoughts if you have different thoughts. Listing consistently is number 1 to me. Seriously. Not even photographs, not even well, obviously you have to list a good quality item, right? If you're listing just a bunch of Target clothes that are like smalls and extra smalls, or Walmart pieces, no, you're not going to make a lot of sales, guys. Let's be really honest here. I've actually been flushing through my old inventory like I mentioned at the beginning. I still have some things back there that are like Target, unless it's like Knox Rolls or Old Navy or something like that, and it's a plus size piece and it has some factory shit. Maybe it's floral, flowing, has ruffles. That's different. But if it's just a basic piece like leggings or just like a black blouse or something like that, I'm flushing all that stuff out. I'm no longer selling anything that's Walmart unless it's kids' clothes. That stuff does sell. You don't have to worry about brands with kids' clothes. They just simply sell. But I'm flushing through a lot of my stuff over here. I don't have any more All in Motion from Target. I got rid of all of it. If it's new with tags, we can take it to Buy Sell Trade, see if they'll take any of it. If not, I'll just take it over to Goodwill. Maybe see if my church has some needy people and pass it on to them. I might try that first before I go out to Goodwill, because my church is just down the street, and Goodwill's 45 minutes from me. So, but yeah, I'm looking at double checking all my inventory to make sure it's listed. And as I'm going through each bin, I'm double checking, do I want to keep this or do I want to flush it? So I am in the process of doing that too. So I'm no longer carrying, unless again it's a plus size piece, has some good factors to it, and it's a good quality piece, it's going out the door. No more Walmart, no more Target. I'm just looking at nicer, better items that I can sell for better money. But guys, listing consistently. If you're not listing consistently on a daily basis, at least 5 days a week, on eBay you can actually, we've talked about this, you can actually schedule to have an item go live on eBay on the weekend if you don't want to work on the weekend. But that means that your listings that you're doing during the week, you need to make sure you're adding enough, whatever your listing number of listings you want to go live Saturday or Sunday, you need to incorporate those numbers in with your listings Monday through Friday that you're listing, so that you're doing your Monday through Friday listings and a little bit more each day for your Saturday and Sunday listings that you want to schedule to go live. But you need to be listing on a daily basis. Poshmark and eBay, I'm not really going to talk about Mercari because Mercari is just kind of its own thing, but Poshmark and eBay, you need to be listing every single day. It's just a fact. If you're lazy and you're like, okay, well, I got a couple things listed today, I'll make sure I get 10 things listed tomorrow, and then the next day you skip and you only do 5, and then you're consistent doing 10 listings 2 days in a row. No, you have to be consistent every single day. Pick a number you know that works for you. I would recommend 5, especially for Poshmark and eBay, because at least 5 is good for the algorithm. 5 new listings each day. If you have to figure out how to accommodate that, again, if you can only do listings on Saturday and you can only do 5 listings, maybe sketch out on Saturdays or Sundays how you can do your photos, do all of your listings on Saturdays and Sundays, and schedule them out for the week. Maybe that works for you. But I would highly recommend at least 5 listings a day for the algorithm for Poshmark and Mercari. You have to be consistent with your listings. And some people will say, well, I am consistent with listing. But then they say, I listed 2 one day, and then I listed 3 the other day, and then I listed 10 one day because I kind of want to make up for the ones that I didn't list. No, you need to be doing consistently the same number every day. And I know this is true because I've seen other seasoned resellers talk about this, about how it is really, really important to be listing a consistent number every single day for the algorithm. Plus, it's a good habit and pattern for you on a daily basis to be working your business. Okay, so on top of that, whether it's Poshmark or eBay, refreshing stale listings. Now, Poshmark and eBay are different in this way. Let's talk about eBay first. With eBay, you don't delist and relist like you do on Poshmark. However, like I mentioned to you during my weekly reseller chat last week, my listings on eBay, when they end, I end them myself. Instead of letting eBay refresh it, I end the listings myself, and I do a self-similar on all those ended listings to put up a fresh new listing. On all my listings, I do that on a daily basis. In the morning, I go through on eBay, whatever listings are ending that day, I end them myself, and then I relist them, doing self-similar. On Poshmark, yes, I definitely think you need to be delisting and relisting on top of your sharing on a daily basis. Delisting and relisting a certain number of listings every single day to freshen up stale inventory. I do think that's vital. And I mentioned to you guys last week in the weekly reseller chat, like I said, guys, if you're not watching the reseller chats, you're really missing out a lot of information. And guys, some of what I share with you isn't just my experience. It's experience from other people that I've learned from watching their videos who are more than me. So sometimes what I'm sharing with you isn't just what I've experienced. It's what other people who I follow that have been doing this literally for 3, 4, 5 or more years than me. This is things that they're doing that works for them and they're selling more. So yeah, delisting and relisting inventory. I definitely say that is so vital and important to your Poshmark listings on top of new listings every day, and making sure that you have good keywords in all your listings. Good keywords are definitely very important, guys. If you're not doing good keywords, whether You do the keywords through Poshmark. I don't do those anymore. I quit doing those a long time ago. I actually have a list of keywords that I got from another reseller who does very well on both eBay and Poshmark. I bought a keywords list from a couple of different people. So now in my description, I actually have specific keywords for the type of item that I have, because I want more than just 3 keywords in my listing, especially on Poshmark. I don't do the Poshmark keywords. I do them in my description. So I do specific words in my title, and then take that title down into the description. And then I do very specific keywords in my description on Poshmark and eBay. I do multiple description words, keywords. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, Poshmark sharing is so important. You have to share your closet every day. I went back down to sharing only 3 or 4 times a day. I actually bumped that back up again. I'm doing more than 3 or 4 times a day, because back when I was doing more than that before, when I was on a different support for Posh, I think they only did it 3 or 4 times a day, and I think that may have made a difference in how often my items were shared. I am now listing about 8 times a day. I'm sharing 8 times a day. Some people say that that's too much. I don't have that many items in my closet right now where I would get dinged, and even when I did have more in my closet, I never got dinged for sharing that much. I list anywhere from 8 to 10 times a day. Right now I have it set at 8. Every 2 hours, my closet gets shared. And that means it's getting out to more people. That means it's getting more likes and hopefully more sales. So yeah, I do actually, I'm hoping that that's going to make a difference. And then I am doing more delisting and relisting now that I'm back on Vindu. If you guys did not watch my weekly reseller chat last week, I talked about that. So go back and watch that weekly reseller chat for last week. Okay, so yeah. And then on eBay, going into old listings and tweaking some things. Maybe changing up the price. Maybe adding a different keyword. Maybe adding in more details in the eBay listing that you hadn't already added in. There's always ways you can tweak and change your eBay listings to kickstart the algorithm and maybe freshen some things up a little bit on current eBay listings. I also think too, guys, for eBay and Poshmark, we talked about this again last week during the weekly reseller chat, having certain types of sales going in your closets in your stores. I am now pretty consistently and regularly running a sale on my eBay store. When I run sales, I make more sales. Literally, that's kind of funny. When I run a sale on my items, I make more sales on my items, especially on the weekends. I can make some good eBay sales. I've had up to 5 or 6 sales in one day on eBay when I'm running a good sale. And sometimes, especially if I'm doing a 30 or 35% off, I haven't done a 50% off yet because none of my listings are listed high enough to be able to do a 50% off and still make a profit. I'm kind of working on some of those adjustments right now. But I do think that seeing a sale in something is good. And I do think on Poshmark, if you do your regular percent off on Likers offers, and then maybe on the weekend, do a sale, guys. Always be running sales. Or do like, if you have certain items, again, we talked about this in the weekly reseller chat last week, like if you have jewelry or items that are listed within the same price range and they're similar items. If you can do buy 3 for this amount versus just buying 1, maybe make more sales that way. There's lots of different ways to run sales. Okay, daily habits, guys. I think this is huge. I really want to talk about this. I've been hearing some people talk on their YouTube channels and even on Instagram about daily habits. And then I read comments on other people's YouTube videos where people are talking about how it's been hard for them to be consistent. Especially with the holidays coming up, guys. It is going to be vital to be consistent. It's vital to be consistent during slow seasons. It's just vital to be consistent as a reseller. If you don't have daily routines for yourself, guys, whether you work a job, full-time reseller, part-time reseller, whatever your situation is, kids, no kids, whatever your situation is, you really should have some daily habits for yourself. Your habits are going to be different than everybody else. Like for me, my habits literally are daily habits. I wake up literally at a certain time every day. My alarm goes off at 4:30 every day. I'm usually up between 4:45 and 5 o'clock. I already have my workout clothes set out. I get dressed. I do my workout. I get showered up. I go read my Bible, spend some time in my prayer time. That's just my time between me and the Lord. And then I go in, I do some housework while my husband's getting ready for work. We usually spend some time together before he goes off to work. When he leaves for work, I'm upstairs doing my shipping. I have that all ready to go. And then I start my photographs, have that all ready to go. And then I'm downstairs starting my listings. And then in the afternoon, now that I'm doing my Whatnot Kids things, I do those. And then I'm usually doing videos or other things, research, purchasing inventory. And then if I have a live that evening, I do my lives after dinner. I have a certain set routine each day. I know the night before what my day is going to look like the next day. Even if you work a job, your schedule's going to be different than mine, but have a certain routine. Like I know a gal who's on YouTube. She's a full-time teacher at a school, but she's a part-time reseller. She already knows what her schedule is at her job. When she gets home from work from her job, she has 2 kids at home too. So she has a family life. She's still raising kids. I don't have that. My schedule's different. With her, when she gets home from work, she knows what she needs to do for her family time, dinner, whatever that is. And then oftentimes, if you watch her videos, she's doing videos late at night. She's doing her videos like after 9 o'clock at night because that's her set time to do her videos. She's doing photographs after her kids go to bed. She's doing her listings after kids go to bed. She's doing her videos after her kids go to bed. There was a couple times, I haven't watched her videos for a while, but she was doing videos at like 11 o'clock at night on a weekend because that was the only time she had to do her videos. She was recording her videos at 11 o'clock at night. And I know that because she'd say on the video, guys, I'm doing this late at night, it's 11 o'clock at night, but it's the only time I've had. So yeah, whatever works for you guys. Get some daily habits going for yourself. Routine is so important as a reseller. Not just to have your numbers in each day, but you develop habits for yourself. It's like you go to work, you already know what you're going to be doing at work, right? You need to know when you get home from work. If reselling is important to you and you want to be making money doing it, you got to have daily habits. Not just during the week, but if you can't do certain things, like if there's 2 days a week that you can't do your reselling and you're a full-time reseller, maybe not 2 days a week, but maybe you do it on the weekends and then don't do it 2 days a week. For me, I take Sundays off. I do part-time on Saturdays because I do have some stuff here that I do on Saturdays. But I am definitely full-time Monday through Friday here. I'm easily probably 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours a day, especially with my lives, during the week. So get a routine going for yourself. Get a schedule going for yourself. And I wouldn't just set it for yourself, guys. Discuss it with your family. Figure out, hey, this is important to us, right? Agree with your family, too. Involve your spouse in this. Let your kids know what you're doing. I do think that that's really important. My husband knows what I'm doing. He's encouraged me, hey, honey, if you have a live, I'm already going to be working on school. I'm going to be doing this. Or if he needs me for something, he knows I have a live. Hey, can we do the live at this time because I have this going on? Communicate with your families, guys, because this is a part of them, too. Especially if you're doing it for them. Communicate with your spouse when you're doing certain things so that they know what you're doing and when you're doing it. And you guys can connect together on your schedule so you're all working together for the same goal, right? Communicate with your families. Okay. The last one is list what sells. Make sure you're running your comps and list what sells. I think this is really important, guys, because we've talked about this a couple months ago about how certain states, some things sell better than others. And if you only have the ability to source certain things and other people don't have the ability to source what you source, this is where I'm going to say, and I've seen some other people on YouTube and in Instagram lives talk about this. Your business is your business. It is different than everybody else's. Your business is not going to look the same as anyone else's business. There are thousands and thousands of resellers out there, guys. Nobody has the same business that you do. Your business, everybody's business is unique to them. Because the way they run it, their model, how they work it, how they source it, what their schedule is, how much they list, their business is unique to themselves. Your business is unique to yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other resellers. I'm telling myself this too. Because sometimes I look at other resellers and I follow certain reseller YouTube videos And I'm thinking, oh, well, I wonder if I should do that. But then I look at their business model, I'm thinking that doesn't work for my business model. I need to remember, hey, I may have tried that, it didn't work. Or I know by watching the video that it doesn't work. I have to make sure, even if I watch their video and I do get tips and tricks for them, I have to make sure that I don't accidentally slide into how their business model works for them. And remember what business model works for me and stay focused on what works for me. Don't worry about what other people are doing or not doing. And don't worry about what other people are saying about your business model. If it works for you, if lives work for you, do it. If platforms work for you, do it. If you don't sell well on Poshmark but you do great on eBay, do it. If it's vice versa and you sell better on Poshmark but don't sell better on eBay, do it. If Makara works for you and it doesn't work for other people, do it. You get my point? What works for you and your family, do it. Quit worrying about what other people think about your business model. I know people still have a stigma about lives. I'm so tired of that. Forget about their stigma. If lives work for you, do it. This is for your family. If working eBay and platforms works for you, do it. Who cares what other people say? They're not making money to take care of your kids, make sure they're clothed, and have food on the table. Don't worry about what other people are doing. What works for you. Source the items that work for your business model. Source the locations that work for you. Find sourcing that works better for you, okay, guys? But just make sure that your comps work for your business model. And yeah, and you're going to find, especially if you're beginning, I will say this up front, I do think that everybody needs to go through a stage of figuring out what works and doesn't work for them. When you're a reseller, you don't know what works for you until you try it. So I will say, you will need to go through a season if you're brand new to reselling and figuring out what does and doesn't work for you. What brands work and don't work for you. What sourcing strategies work and don't work for you. What pricing strategies work and don't work for you. You will have to go through a trial and error stage, I'm going to say for about 8 months to a year. And then you're going to figure out what works. Then you're going to figure out if you have stuff in your inventory that you need to flush out. Every reseller talks about how they have to go through that stage. It just is what it is. As a reseller, you don't know until you try it. Okay? So, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know we've kind of talked about some of these topics before, but especially with the holiday seasons coming up, guys, in the first of the year, I know for me, I'm going through a lot of changes back here because starting next year, I want to make sure that I know what my business looks like back here. I already have in mind where I want this to go back here. And I'm making changes now leading up to next year so that hopefully by by the time 2024 is here, this is kind of queued up and ready to go. So I know where I'm going for next year. I know where I kind of want to be through the holiday season. Yes, you should be planning that far ahead. Speaking of which, I did want to ask you guys, that it kind of triggered a question for me I was going to ask you guys a few weeks ago. How much inventory do you guys purchase in advance? Not death pile. I'm not talking about death pile. But how much inventory do you guys purchase in advance for stockpile? I only ask this because I have somebody who I follow who does Whatnot Lives. He admitted on a video that I watched a few weeks ago that he has 3 months worth of pallet inventory purchased in advance, stocked up in his warehouse, ready and backed up to go for his lives. Now I know some people, for me, it's usually a few boxes at a time. I would like to do more, but because I'm a cash-based business and I don't go into debt to buy my inventory, I had to only purchase so much at a time to bring it in until I have built this up enough to have more profit coming in, which is another reason why I'm trying to sell nicer items to have more profit per piece, to be making more, to be able to buy more items up front. Okay, so I'm working on that slowly but surely, and because I don't go into debt to buy my inventory, I can only buy so much up front at a time. Okay, so I'm curious, how much advanced inventory do you guys purchase? How much stock advancement do you guys purchase at a time? Do you do like a month's worth at a time? Do you like 2 months worth at a time? Or do you buy weekly at a time? How much inventory do you guys stock up at a time for your backup inventory? I would love to know. Okay, guys. Hopefully it hasn't been too long on here. Again, hopefully this was a blessing to you guys. A fresh reminder, let me know If you would like me to do these bi-weekly, once a month, how would you guys like me to do this? I could continue to do once a week, but lately it hasn't been as much information coming out. So I don't want to be doing a video just to be doing a video. I just want to make sure the video is important, has good information. It's not just something you guys are watching. And I do want to start doing these interviews. So let me know if you want me to do it bi-weekly or monthly for the weekly reseller chats. And we'll go from there and figure out how we want to do that. Because I still do think it's good to do these, because there's still a lot of information about reselling that changes. And I do think that having this information on a chat is helpful for all of us. Okay, guys, I do think that's it for today. Let me know what your goals are for this week. Mine, as usual, are my 10 listings a day. Working on my 20 listings a day for my kids' auctions. And improving my YouTube videos. I'm continually doing research on that. And doing my lives. And just keeping it going, guys. I'm so excited for you guys. And I've been thinking about like a saying for my channel. This is something I've been thinking about. And one of the sayings that I'm contemplating saying is daily progress. Doing something every day. Growing every day. So I hope you grow every day this week. I hope your business grows every day this week. Daily progress. I hope you have a great week, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.